what are the limits of common sense and intuition, and why do psychologists emphasize scientific method? This is the question that has been asked in Civil Service Examination 2021. We will discuss. See, here you need to emphasize the limits only. You need not to describe what is intuition and what is common sense in detail. So intuition, as you know, it refers to the individual's own knowledge that come from inside, some sort of sense. For example, where could be my key that I have placed yesterday, coming from the office. Intuition you can apply. If I do give this examination, what is the probability that I will clear? Intuition says that I may clear. Okay, so these are intuition. Intuition is very, what is the limit? Intuition work, very often it works. But you know this thing, the intuition is very limits. If you talk about intuition and its limit, the limit is that it is very subjective. Even if I am correct, then how I arrived at that solutions and answer, I cannot describe. What is your mother, where is the key? This was the question. Okay. Now, how I arrived at this? Is it when I ask this question to myself, I will not be able to analyze my meta thinking that I used to arrive at. So this is the problem, that limit is that it is highly subjective and individual differences are there. When you analyze the intuitions of different individuals on the same issue, people may differ and they cannot give their explanation. I feel so, I think so. But why you think so? If you ask to analyze, then they can tell you the fact that I think this is the thing, right things or wrong thing, but they cannot describe the mental processes. Okay. So limit is that it is subjective and individual difference is there. What about common sense? Common sense refers to those wisdom that we share. For example, if you do something 50 times, you will be master of this. So if you are not able to solve anything, try hard and harder, you will do it. This is common. But you know this thing, that something may be insightful and just hard work will not work. When you are looking for something that is insight related, hard work will not work. See, common sense, and this in extreme case or in some case, common sense might not work. If you are feeling sad, okay, go for outing, common sense. But if you are suffering from depression, outing will not work. See the medical reason. There are some different. Common sense is this one. Common sense is for common problem. This is the limited. Common sense will work when problem is very common one. If it is extreme one or some other, it will not work. Now, common sense is not to say that not a good thing or intuition is not a good thing. We do use. But see this thing, the reliability of these two. You cannot rely in every case. Can you say that your common sense will work in every case? Can you say intuition will work in every case? So in general, its reliability will be poor. What? Reliability of intuition and common sense. In comparison, if you look at scientific method to know something, this thing, 4 goals of psychology: to describe, to explain, to predict, and to control. In all these things, what you find, this is objective. Which one? This one is objective method and impersonal. You cannot say that I am saying, I cannot say, but I feel like that. Impersonal and testable. Testable, you can test, and whether you can test again and again, and you can this whatever things is scientific, that could be tested by other person also. So impersonal, testable, and empirical, rational. Okay, many features are there. But here the limits is what? Why not we rely upon this? See, the subjectivity is high, and this thing that in extreme and individual case, in common case it may work, but in extreme, जब कोई चीज़ ज़्यादा हो कोई एक्सटेंट में या इंडिविजुअल केसेस इट मे फेल, इंट्यूशन के लिमिट्स बताने हैं आपको, एंड देन यू शुड से दैट इन एंड यू कैन थिंक ऑफ एनी एग्जांपल and what a scholar has said, don't worry about that. You just think that in intuition, in terms of subject, process of knowing something, intuitions as a method of, what do you think that sun is the center or earth is the center of this universe? Now Copernicus was not relying on intuition, he was collecting data. Intuition is not data based. You are getting my point. So Copernicus was arrived at this. Likewise, intuition, sometimes work, sometimes may not work, and it is very subjective. I am repeating again and again. So, in comparison, this one is what? Empirical and data based. You can say data based. So this one scientific method, which is empirical, rational. It works in almost all conditions, but this may work in some condition, this may work in some condition. So these are the limits of this thing, and because of this, if you take problem solving approach, for example, then sometimes intuition will work, common sense will work, but this is not guaranteed it will work. But what about this one? Because of this objective, impersonal, testable and data based solution, it becomes what? Highly reliable. This is why psychologists emphasize scientific method. This is the things you can use. Which example you put in, which example you use to illustrate your points, that all depends upon you. Some people will say Ernst Weber has said that in extreme limit things will work or not. So you can use your own examples. But come to this point that what you are trying to say, लिमिट क्या है वो बताना है, और इसमें क्या प्रीफर क्यों करते हैं, एम्फेसाइज क्यों करते हैं साइकोलॉजी साइंटिफिक मेथड. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड. सो मिलेंगे अगले वीडियो में और बात करेंगे किसी और मॉडल आंसर पे. थैंक यू.